welcome to Make Your Passion Pay. I'm Luann Beekler, creator of the Make Your Passion Pay Playbook, your host and guide on this exciting journey to building joyful and successful work environments. Known as the Little Spark, I've helped countless individuals and businesses ignite their potential through transformational coaching, creating thriving businesses and joyful workplaces. I have experienced the challenges of leaving toxic workplaces and building something better. I bring firsthand wisdom to help you align your work with your values. With insights drawn from working alongside world-renowned leaders and a deep passion for community and connection, I'm here to show you how to lead with joy and purpose. Let's dive into today's episode and start making your passion pay. Welcome, everybody, to the Make Your Passion Pay podcast. Super excited to be back with you today. Here we talk about the 6 C's to making your passions pay. That would be connection, community, clarity, creativity, commitment, and core values. And I'm super excited today to have Marianne Page with us. Marianne worked with McDonald's for 3 decades. I'm going to let her tell her story, but welcome, Marianne.
Thank you so much, Luann. It is really good to be here. I'm delighted to be having this conversation with the spark who brings joy to other people's lives. I love the word joy. There's just something about it. It's just, yeah, it's a short but very juicy word.
It is indeed. And you can tell by the accent, Marianne's coming to us from England, correct?
I am indeed, yes, I am indeed.
And
Very cold England at the moment, although I shouldn't complain about cold with some of the freezing conditions you guys get.
Yeah, I am in Minnesota, so we know what that's
Oh my
like.
God, right, okay. Yeah, you really get the snow.
Yeah, we are having a mild winter though so far, so pleased to have that. We're going to be
Fingers crossed.
grateful for that this year.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us about your journey in business, Marianne.
Well, I pretty much grew up at McDonald's. I joined them as a really naive 21-year-old. I mean, I'd had such a sheltered upbringing. I'd never really worked before. I was pampered, a pampered pooch, and the 5th of my 6 sisters. So I was, yeah, I'd had a bit of a charmed life, and I joined McDonald's. And when I joined, my parents were horrified. They called it a glorified fish and chip shop, which which is not a salubrious place over here in the UK.
Sure.
But it's really amazing because within a year, so I joined as a trainee manager, and within a year they had promoted me to be restaurant manager with a £1 million restaurant, a team of 50 people, and 2 18-year-old floor managers who basically ran everything when I was on holiday or away for the day or whatever. So, I'd love to say it was because I was just naturally brilliant, but none of those things. It was because they, well, I guess they spotted a little bit of potential somewhere, but they just taught me how to do things the McDonald's way. They taught me all of the systems that they use every day to achieve that amazing consistency. They also taught me how to deal with people, how to manage people, how to get the best out of people. And I was in the restaurants for a couple of years, and then they moved me to become a training manager. And during my time as a training manager, I think I calculated it once, there were 14,000 roughly managers and franchisees sort of went through Hamburger University, went through my hands. It was an amazing, absolutely amazing time. But without giving you my CV, they then asked me to set up and build a customer services department because they didn't have one back in those days. Can you believe it? And that was just the best time of my life. I got to choose my team from scratch. I got to build all the systems from scratch. It was amazing. And then from there, my series of departments grew and whatever. But as often happens, and actually within McDonald's, you're taught to replace yourself. And I replaced myself successfully three times, onwards and upwards. The fourth time, sadly, there was nowhere for me to go. So, had a conversation with McDonald's and off I went to start my own business, which is where I am now. So, last 15 years, if that hasn't completely aged me. The last 15 years, I've been building my own global small business, and I call it global because I deal with people in the States, in Australia, in New Zealand, in the Congo, just people from all over the world, which I absolutely love. And I help them not to become McDonald's. I don't think that's not what it's about, but it's about uh, achieving the level of consistency that McDonald's has, which I think it gives every team member the opportunity to take ownership for something. It gives them the confidence to take ownership for something, and it means that the business owner can have freedom, can step away without having to control everything. So, I learned so much from my time at McDonald's. I absolutely loved it. I got to see the
So,
world with them. It was amazing.
so you just gave us another C. Ever since I made up these 6 C's to making your passions pay, their C words come all the time to me, and I'm more aware of,
Confidence,
right? Right? And so consistency
consistency.
was the word that you said here, and so important, right?
Oh,
And I
massively.
believe, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that your core values are the basis of providing that consistency. When we all live by the same
Absolutely.
core values, consistently apply them
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
certain way,
Yeah.
right? Then we get that. And you're very right. That means that the employees are empowered to
Yeah.
take ownership.
Yeah.
So the manager does not have to micromanage everything.
Yeah.
It allows
Which
so
which the team don't want either. The team don't
no,
want to be micromanaged. The manager doesn't want to micromanage. So give them give them good training in the first place, and then you can let them fly.
yeah.
It's the I tell a story about being trained to sail when I was out in Antigua. This young lad was sent out by his mother to go and teach me to sail, and he got me out into the bay. He went, "Here's the sail, here's the tiller. Just keep the sail pointed into the wind." And then he dived off the boat and swam back to shore. And I'm out there. I'm scared of sharks, by the way, just a little thing. I'm scared of sharks. I know that there are sharks in every water. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And it's so many people dive off the boat and leave somebody to literally sink or swim with their training. And if we just invest more time in the first place and not go, oh my God, why can't they show some initiative? Oh my God, it's common sense. Was it common sense to you 10 years ago when you first learned this? Oh,
Oh, I so love that, Marianne, because I work with a lot of solopreneurs who then build a team,
yeah,
and their systems, their processes are so ingrained in their own brain and their own
yeah,
personality that they are frustrated training other people,
yes,
and they think it should happen overnight. And it's like,
yeah.
no, this takes time.
It's got to be embedded. It really does. I mean, I see so many businesses, and I know you've seen the same, Luann, who do create. They sit in the middle of the night documenting processes, and they're typing away on the computers, and here, follow this. But what they don't do is involve the team in what's the best way to do this? How do we get the best result with our customers? What's the easiest way? I mean, I talk about simple, logical, repeatable. What's the simplest way to do this without oversimplifying? What's the most logical? What makes logical sense? And remembering that logic changes over time. We didn't have AI a couple of years ago. Now you build AI into it, maybe. And then it's got to be repeatable. And I think I don't think I know the language of process and systems gets in the way of people achieving consistency because even the word process I've got a book called Process to Profit, and I've got to admit, the word process shrinks a little bit of my soul every time I say it. It's like, was it Tinkerbell that couldn't, I can't remember, Tinkerbell couldn't say something because it really hurt her every time she said it. For me, it's the word process because I love what it does, but I hate the impact it has, particularly on team members. Say, oh, I've got a process for you. Oh, really? Process? Oh my God. It's like, it's a dull, boring, it sounds bureaucratic. It's just a horrible word. Whereas at McDonald's, I don't remember ever talking about processes and systems.
Mm.
You learned the McDonald's way, and it was the McDonald's way to do everything. And what I try to encourage people to do is to, with their team, work out our way of doing things. This is our way. It's not so when a new person comes in from a different business, oh, that's not how we did it at Black Store. Well, this is our way of doing it. This is how we've worked out the best way for us to do this. This is our way. And when you can bring your team and involve them in creating our way, then they really buy into it. If you get them to create how-to videos, then they own them and they protect them with other team members. And it becomes a we and us operation instead of a me and them, which
Yeah.
many business owners get into, a me and them. They think they need to know the answers, to everything. They think they need to sign off on everything. And
Right.
it's impossible to grow your business, let alone to scale it. But it happens. I'd seen it happening. I saw it happening at McDonald's. It was a really lovely guy, really good friend of mine, became chief exec, and he was brilliant when things were going great. He'd always known success. And then when things started to go wrong, when Super Size Me came out and we had the mad cow disease issue, and there was a financial crisis, and he felt he had to put all these things right. He didn't he didn't use the power of the team around him. Didn't he didn't feel that was right. He felt he had to be the sole person that held all this on his back. And of course he crumbled under it. And it was so sad to see. But on a much smaller scale, you see it every day in small business. You must have seen it loads, Luann, where and is this a particularly one sex or the other? And actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's probably, you know what I mean. Sometimes women, because we're so we can do everything, chief cook and bottle washer. But actually, I've seen as many men feel that they've got to have all the answers from
Feel
a.
that here's the difference. They feel like they've got to have all the answers. I'm supposed to be smarter than everybody else. I'm supposed to have it all together. I worked with some gentlemen in a recovery program here in Minnesota. It was called Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge. And these were executives who had fallen into drugs and alcohol because of the pressure
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
of being an executive and the pressure that we put on men to be the provider for the family.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's generations of buildup, right?
Yes,
Because
yeah,
we women would say you don't need to do that anymore, but it's ingrained in the generational, right?
yeah,
So there's still a lot of shift to be done there. But I think
yeah.
I think we women come in and go, oh, if we show any weakness, then
Yes,
we're in trouble, right? And so we
yeah,
end up doing the same kinds of things,
yeah,
trying to often mm, emulate the male persona
yeah,
because we
yeah,
think we have to look like them and be as strong as them,
yeah,
supposedly. And that's a
yeah.
general term, when the reality is we all need each other.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
it doesn't matter what the title
Yeah,
is that you carry.
yeah,
We and us model that you just spoke of is what is so important to me. And
yeah,
I think that the core values again create that.
yeah.
And in the work that I get to do, Marianne, working with solopreneurs and small business owners, is I'm helping them to create the core values from
Yeah,
scratch. And
yeah.
so we involve whatever team they have in creating those core values.
Fantastic. It's
And
so
we use
important
those
to
core
involve the
values
team.
to onboard people, right?
Yeah,
And empower them to know here is who we are,
yeah,
here's our mission, our direction, how we serve our clients. And it allows them, like you said, to be empowered to take ownership in every
yes,
moment.
yeah.
And that's so powerful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talk a lot about things called the sticky systems, and because there's once you've developed our way of doing things, you've got to have you've got to invest in your sticky systems, and that is hiring the right people who buy into your core values, who really get them and share them and are excited about being part of a business that has these core values. But then you've got to invest in training them, and it is an investment. But McDonald's invest in every single person that comes through the door. I have seen so many greasy haired, spotty teenagers with their hair over their eyes, shuffle in, no confidence, wouldn't tidy their room at home. But within a week, they're an effective team member. They can do something. They can dress a Big Mac. They can cook French fries. They can do something that immediately gives them a sense of, I'm part of this team and I'm contributing to this team already. And that training is really important. And then the third sticky system is feedback. And that's even
Mm.
those businesses that have training often forget or don't invest in having a feedback system. And there's two parts to feedback. I'm pushing through an open door with you, Luann, I know. But the
Okay.
first part is that day-to-day feedback, not walking past something that you see is wrong, that goes against your core values. That's, somebody, I don't know, somebody who's walked in 3 times in a week with a face like tripe. I don't know if that's an expression in the US, but tripe, the offal. It's a very British expression. It means a face like thunder, a real like miserable. They walk in with a
Miserable,
real miserable
miserable
face.
story. Okay.
And and just allowing them to do that, but then moaning about them at home. Oh my God, Luann's walked in every day this week and she's just looked so miserable. She's affected the whole team. Instead of allowing that to actually have the conversation, the first time you see it, do you recognize that when you walk in, the effect that you're having on people, that sort of conversation. But then the other part of the feedback system is that quarterly, at the very longest period, quarterly, sit down with every team member, giving them their time in the sun, whether they are an amazing performer or whether they're struggling, giving everybody their time in the sun so that they can be told what they're doing well and how they can improve. Even the brilliant performers, you're doing absolutely brilliantly, but this is how you can grow. This is how you can be better. I just said to you that I was the most naive 21-year-old you'd ever meet. How the hell did I become a senior manager at McDonald's? I didn't have just innate talent and innate right. I can take on customer services now. I was taught, I was challenged, I was pushed out of my comfort zone. Somebody saw a little spark of potential and drove it as far as they could to
No,
see how much I would grow. And that's what we want. I, I I'm a massive believer that everybody has potential.
of course.
Not everybody has potential for your business, but everybody has potential. And if they don't fit your business, let them go with love
With
because they
love.
will fit with somebody else.
Which is the other core values piece, right? You
Yeah,
said earlier that they want the right people that align with your core values that want to be there because of the core values. So it becomes an attraction tool to attracting the right people. It also becomes a tool that says when I've found myself in a place that's not a right fit, that
yeah,
I'm not in alignment with the core values, I can opt out. No
yes,
one needs to be fired or let go if we bring everything back to those core values. People,
absolutely.
I've seen it. People
Yeah,
opt out and go, this is not the right fit for me. And if we, as business owners, think about that in the essence of how do we get all the right people on the bus in the right positions,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
And so you
definitely.
might not be a good employee for my type of work, but maybe you are at McDonald's, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Or you might not be you might not be a good fit in that role in my business, but you'd be a brilliant fit. I just had such a fantastic example of this with some woman at McDonald's, some woman, bless her. Her name was Ona, and she was put on reception, and she was sullen on reception. I mean, she was the last person you would put on reception. And I took over that department at one stage, and people saying to me, "Well, I'm guessing Ona's the first person that you move." I sat down with her and I had this conversation, and it turned out that she was a single mother of three, and she rocked up every day on time. She always dressed smartly in her uniform, but she she just didn't like people. So I said, look, I thought if you are organized enough to bring up three kids, get them, get them to school on time every day, to get yourself to work on time every day, you've got to be organized. Let's put you in the post room where you don't need to deal with the general public. You don't have to be, she was relatively poorly educated, shall we say. But oh my God, she took that post room and she just turned it into the smoothest running. Like nobody was ever waiting for their post. She would stay late to make sure that people's parcels were got out on time. She was amazing. And it's that feedback, it's that listening to people and grabbing what is it about this person that I'm missing? What is it about this person that they have potential?
Because all people have potential,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
What is a post room in McDonald's?
Sorry. So it's like the mail comes into the post room and then it's like the internal mail. So taking the
So
internal
not
mail
at a
round to every
franchise,
department.
not at a franchise, but in a corporate office
In
setting.
the corporate office, yes. Sorry, yes, in the corporate office.
Got it. That would explain reception too, because whenever the average person thinks of McDonald's, I'm sure we all think of a
The
franchise
phone character.
store.
Yes.
Doesn't
Sorry, I'm in the corporate head office. Yes. Yes, actually, I should have made that clear. We are not talking in a restaurant. There is no reception in a restaurant.
But what you're really talking about here that I want to share with our audience is we need to really care, which is
Yeah.
another C word, by the way. We need to really care about the people that work for us,
Yeah.
right? With us,
Yeah.
not for us, with
With
us,
us. With us.
with us. Thank
And
you.
respect. I
Good.
know that's not a C word, but
Good.
respect people
Period.
for who they are.
And
Not,
know they all have potential.
yes.
So pass no
Yes.
judgment. It's about finding that potential,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And not feeling that because, sorry, go on.
We expect our team to care about our clients.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need to care about our team.
Yes.
It's well, it's the circle of life. Oh goodness,
Oh,
no.
no, absolutely. Absolutely.
And everybody wants to feel like they're contributing, which was
Another
another
C word.
that you brought up, but that's so true.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody wants to feel they're contributing.
Yeah.
And so by asking good questions, by engaging with them, by really caring about their opinion, how they feel about their work, where they feel comfortable, what their strengths are, right? The
Yeah.
Strength
Yeah.
Finder is a compatible tool to the passion test and helping people to uncover their strengths and their passions and then use those to help them be in the right place in your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And if not in your
Absolutely.
business, again, they'll opt out for something else. But
Yeah.
let's get everybody in the right place. If we could do that, we could increase customer service across the board. Because
Oh,
when you have
absolutely.
people in the right seats doing the right job and happy, which is
Yeah.
why I'm so concerned about joyful workplaces,
Yeah.
they're happy doing their job,
Yeah.
then we get better customer service as the
Yeah.
customers.
Absolutely. And if they feel valued, you said about opinions, listening to people, not dismissing their ideas or their opinions, actually talking them through and then making a decision that shares with them why you've gone with their idea or why you haven't.
Right.
Not just it's that really
Not just
valuing the
dismissing.
person for who they are.
Yeah.
It's so that it's like if you can do that, you can really start to feel joy in a workplace because everybody feels valued, everybody feels supported. So even if they're in a really tough customer facing role where they're constantly getting, I think back to my customer services day and there's like constantly somebody talking about the fact they didn't get their fries going through the drive-through or their Big Mac was cold or whatever it was. It was like, that was the job. And feeling that people taking those calls, feeling that they were supported, that they could make decisions that would please satisfy the customer, giving them the strategies for how to deal with people, not just going, well, just, you should know how to get on with it. It's common sense. Properly giving people what they need to feel supported, to feel confident, and to feel valued. And then you get a joyful workplace.
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just mentioned common sense. And the thing is, common sense isn't really common.
No, no, it's really not,
It's
which
unfortunately
is
a
so
C
sad.
word. We're going to throw that one out.
Yeah,
Something
common
you
sense
mentioned
is not
earlier,
common.
I wanted to bring back up, and that was feedback. Okay.
Mm, yeah,
And I was at a conference called Culture Con, which is about building culture, of course.
yeah,
And the presenter talked about how we need to give feedback and recognize our team members when they are in alignment with the core values. It
absolutely.
makes a recognition program so
Yeah,
simple,
absolutely.
right? If you think
Absolutely.
about it from that perspective, recognize them when they're doing things in alignment with the core values. And
Yeah.
recognition is so important, right?
Do you
It
not
makes
think
them
though,
feel valued.
yeah, do you not think that though, Luann, before you start working with people on their core values, you'll go into businesses and you'll find a laminated poster up on the wall. These are our values, and they've picked them off the internet, or they've had a brief team meeting and said, "What should we have as our values?" And they've not thought about why these are their core values. They've not thought about what they expect people to do. They've not shown the team what these values look like day to day in real life. And they certainly haven't recognized people for living them because they don't, because living your values, it's a bit, you know, what's the right word? Woo woo. It's
No wonder I like it so much. I'm totally woo-woo. I'm just starting with a new client the company has been in existence for 45 years and they've
Wow.
never had core values. I'm
Oh my
so
God.
excited. They came to
Yeah.
me and said, "Well, we think we do." And I'm like, "That's really your brand promise, not your
Yeah.
core values,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah.
And more often in the small business arena, Mary Ann, is they have failed to even think about core values. They skip that step, or they think, well, I know them. I know
Yeah.
what my values are as the person who
Yeah.
started this business, but you need to articulate that with the team
Yeah.
and bring them on board. I think
Yeah.
people intuitively find themselves in the right place where they
Yeah.
align with core values, but we need to make them consciously aware of it
Yes. Yeah.
and consciously apply them. The other day, I had an interview on the podcast where the gentleman was like, it's almost silly the things we repeat it so many times. It seems like it's silly, but the fact of the matter is, when we repeat those values over and over and over again about what's important to us, we ingrain them so thoroughly that we live them every day.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's what needs to happen. And what you were talking about is the people that have the poster on the wall who
Yeah.
created it because somebody told them in their business plan, you have to
Yeah.
have mission, vision, values, but they
Yeah.
haven't the first thing about how to implement them and truly live them. And so I can work with those companies too, as can you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so right
Absolutely.
now you're operating as a consultant, right, Marianne?
I am indeed a consultant and speaker. I'm moving more and more into speaking because as a consultant, I love it. I love getting properly into a business, but it's just one business at a time. And I just feel that the sort of message that you and I both share just needs to get to more people because I really feel that there are too many business owners that do not have a joyful experience in their business. They are stressed, they are suffering, they are working harder than they need to because they're not investing in sticky systems. They don't understand their core values. They're not hiring to their core values. And I just want to get out and tell them that they can have a better life if they just
Right.
do a few simple, and they are simple things. They're not, there's nothing really difficult. Yes, they've got to invest time and ultimately, therefore, money, but it's not hard. And the payoff is this freedom, this
You,
consistent business, the happy customers, happy team. It's the payoff is massive. So yeah, so consultancy, but increasingly speaking,
I love that.
it's my retirement plan as well, Luann.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's a podcast. Move into speaking from here, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if you need a speaker on culture or core values, look up Marianne and I. We would love to be at your event.
Absolutely, yes. Get us on the stage. Even better, get us on a stage together, Luann. Now that would be a great double act.
Gosh, that would be so much fun. We're going to work on that, which brings up one of the other C's, collaboration, right?
Absolutely.
We're all in this together and lift each
Yeah,
other up and collaborate to produce things. So remember that you're not out there alone as an entrepreneur. People want to support you. You're never going to be successful alone. So reach out for help, which is one thing we fail to do often.
yeah,
But there's
yeah,
so many people out here that have experience to help and want to help. And it's
yeah,
a gift when you ask
yeah.
for help
It's
because
it's
now
again, yeah, it's again that not wanting to ask for help because I feel like a failure if I ask for help. No, everybody has gone through what you're going through now. Everybody, lots of people have gone through what you're going through
lots.
right now. Lots and lots and lots of
Lots. If
people.
we could poll our audience right now, we could prove it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, mad. But people
So,
don't people feel like they shouldn't ask for help.
yeah.
Crazy.
Um, so a couple of things. I wanted to go back to the freedom conversation. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a lot of individuals start a business for that freedom and get the exact opposite because they're trying to do it all by themselves and they're trying to do everything. When if they did that one simple thing of creating those core values that would provide the foundation to
Mm,
scale the business, attract the right people, is really where they need to step back and begin. So I
yeah,
can hardly say that enough how important core values
so
are.
important. And also, thinking about that, even those people who start out the business on their own and don't want a team, we all still work with other people. Regardless of, if you're a solopreneur, you still have to work with other people to get stuff done, whether they're a team, whether you consider them to be a team or not. They actually are part of your team. They're just not on your payroll. And I
Right.
think if we can think about these people as if they were team members, if we can, train them how we want to work, if we can only work with people who share our core values, regardless of whether they're on the payroll or not, I think then we will start to feel more supported and less like we're all on our own. Because
Right.
there's a lot of lonely business owners out there
Yeah, there
and,
is.
and a lot of business owners doing $10 jobs instead of the $10,000 jobs
Right.
that would grow their business.
Right.
They're doing the nitty gritty,
Right.
itsy bitsy bits of admin that they could
Right.
farm off to somebody else
Right.
on people per hour even, or one of the other little sites. Um, if they
So,
don't want to employ, but we need
so
support.
I was trained back in college. We'll not talk about when that was. About when
I bet it was after me.
I have a master's degree in hospitality administration, okay?
Yeah, so that.
So restaurant and hotel management, then hospitality administration is my master's. That to look at your team, your employees as your internal customers,
Yeah,
right? And they
yeah,
totally are your internal customers, which then allows us to think about our external customers also as a part of our team, right?
yes, yes,
And they want to be a part of something that they can be excited about too. So your
yeah,
customers want to understand your core values so they can be in alignment with them as well and
yeah.
understand who you are. I had a client who posted his passions, otherwise known on core values for the rest of the world, right? In his website. And this, he had investors and a board of directors and and even his insurance guy noticed and said, "Oh my gosh, now that we know what your core values are, we feel like we know you so much better and what you're trying to accomplish." Think about that for attracting investors into
Yeah,
what you're doing, along
yeah,
with the right customers, the right strategic partners. All of this can
yeah,
be accented and improved when you know your core values and you articulate them. So,
absolutely.
Marianne, when we spoke before, you talked about sexy systems.
Yes.
That my little note says that's marketing. I want you to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm of the belief that there are four sets of systems in every business, and the sexy systems are the ones that get most attention. They are the marketing, PR, advertising. They're the systems that attract customers to you. And they get the vast quantity of a business owner's attention because and they are important obviously because they bring customers to you. But if you then don't have the other three sets of systems in place and working effectively, then you can have as many sexy systems as you like. My mother used to have a phrase. Sorry, Mum, for keep telling this. All fur coat and no underwear. Um, and for me, when you've got great sexy systems, but then you don't have great security systems, which are, your cash flow management, your financial care, your good financial plan, a sound plan that makes sure you're growing your profit, not growing your expenses. So the security systems are important. Then your service systems, which are all about that's like the McDonald's way of doing things, the our way of doing things. That's the day-to-day nuts and bolts of your business. And then the sticky systems that make all of the others work, that
I was
make
going to say the sticky systems are really the foundation, which is those core values
absolutely,
again.
absolutely. They
Yeah.
are the underwear. They are the, you know, if it's
Which is
like when you've got a huge foghorn of sexy systems going, look at me, is my business amazing? It's like, what's going to fail first? Is it the first phone call to a member of the team that hasn't been trained properly? Is it the first time they go to your website and your website hasn't been set up properly by a member of the team? What's going to fail? That your operation needs to be consistent and those strong foundations of sticky systems holding it all together.
That is fantastic. I have a feeling that we could talk for hours. So, Marianne, I'm just going to let you know that I want to invite you back again.
Oh, I would love that.
I want
Definitely.
to have a whole conversation around franchise. To my
Mm.
audience, if you're a franchise owner and you'd like to hear an episode on franchise and carrying the core values from a corporate office like McDonald's through every franchise across the world, I think there's a conversation
Oh,
there
definitely.
because there's
Definitely.
the McDonald's way, but you said about our own way as well
Yeah.
and keeping the two because I'm confident that in order to stay a McDonald's, you need to know the McDonald's way as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll have that conversation later.
Great. I look forward to that.
How can people reach you, Marianne?
Best place is my website, mariannepage.com. There's a lot on there. My YouTube channel, which is simply YouTube Marianne Page, and LinkedIn is the other one, Marianne Page. I have Big Mac thinking in my title because I'm a great believer that the Big Mac is the best symbol of consistency and scale that you can get.
I love that. I love it when you keep it simple too. Marianne Page, look her up on YouTube. Her website, mariannepage.com. Just like mine is simple, luannb.com. Free consultation from my website if you'd like to talk more about this. And we'll have Marianne back. Thanks so much, Marianne. This was a fabulous conversation.
Absolute delight, Luann. As you said, we could talk for hours on this easily.
So watch for Marianne to be back on Make Your Passions Pay and go out there and have a joyful day. Bye for now.
Bye.
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in to Make Your Passion Pay. If today's episode inspired you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a rating, and share your thoughts in a review. Every listener makes a difference in spreading this mission of joy and purpose. Want to take the next step? Share this episode with your friends, colleagues, or anyone looking to build a thriving, values-driven workplace. Together, we can create communities where passion fuels success. Until next time, remember, when you lead with joy, you inspire greatness. Let's keep making your passion pay.